Next thing I saw was only 2 days later, actually. Inception, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. And possibly, I've not seen Shutter Island. I've heard some bad things about it. But this has to be in my viewing experience, one of, if not the best of Leonardo DiCaprio's roles. I love Titanic. On second viewing, I love Romeo and Juliet. I love oh god, is it This Boy's Life? I can't remember This Boy's Life or whatever it's called. You know, there are a number of his other movies that I like, but role-wise, this was possibly his best in acting, because it was there was something about this story and the way it was told and the visual effects that were done on that, which actually felt natural. I mean, there were some moments where I felt quite positively queasy when there was this like street folding over. A lot of movies that you go to now, say like the newest Indiana Jones movie, or a lot of the the big monster movies, everything feels too green screened and CGI'd, whereas this felt natural, in an unnatural world kind of thing. But there was a serious element, and I was sat there watching it and I was really enjoying it, because it's basically about this guy who, and I could get this wrong because it's been a couple of weeks now since I saw it, but basically Leonardo DiCaprio is this kind of agent guy that can get into people's dreams and change their memories if he goes deep enough, and this, that and the other. But anyway, it had a serious what dreams may come feel about it, with all the kind of twists and turning imagery and that, and just in the kind of basic emotional side, I guess, of the tale. There was just something about that, in the same way that What Dreams May Come has that heaven and the kind of like trying to rifle through people's lives, if you will, and like when the guy's wife is feeling ill and that, and then when she commits suicide and that. But there was something about that really kind of parallel. However, it did feel original. There's probably loads of movies like it and stuff, and as a friend has said, or well, a friend has pointed it out to me in her defence for Avatar. There are only like 7 original stories, and then everything else has just been like your interpretation of it. This just felt like a completely fresh take, and it's very slow. I get why people might not like it, in that it feels very slow, because it's a drama and stuff. But it's a nice break in a world where every movie seems to feel this need for explosions, and gunshots and swearing and this, that and the other. So I thought it was excellently done, and I highly recommend it. I mean, I wouldn't give it a perfect, because it's not perfect, and I kid you not, I was sat there in the cinema. It was nice as well that it wasn't in 3D. I mean, I say about the effects that actually made you feel as if it was in 3D, but it wasn't a 3D specs movie. So it was nice to sit there and fully enjoy it for what it was, essentially. But it's not perfect, but I definitely give it 4.5 out of 5, because it was just very well told, intricately done, visually beautiful, storytelling wise excellent, the casting was great. I really didn't have much problem with it, except for the fact that I was kind of sat there the whole way through going, my god, this feels like forever. Is this ever going to end? And I think it was only like 2.5 hours long, but it did feel rather long. So, but that's my only problem with it. So, that's Inception. And finally, the most recent movie I saw begrudgingly, I was intent on boycotting this movie because if there's, with the recent trend, not so much Star Trek because that did well, and I guess that was always a franchise that was going to come back in the same kind of way as James Bond, I guess. But it's been the recent trend of either rehashing movies or like making movie versions of classic TV shows, be that Transformers or I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. We've got, what is it, Marmaduke coming out now? I think everybody's still waiting for the Jetsons, but no, so comes along the A-Team, and I was intent because I'm a massive, massive fan of the original series. For me, nobody can beat George Papard, Mr. T, Dwight Schultz, and, oh God, I know it, I do, oh God, oh, and Dirk Benedict. Nobody can beat them for me. And the show is such a classic and so well done. I couldn't believe it, and I just knew. I thought it's just gonna be explosions and a lot of other crap and all CGI'd and green screened and it's going to have the characters swearing because of course they couldn't do it on TV, and loads of people dying, and because of course that was the joke on the series, that because it was a daytime kind of tea time show, that there was going to be nobody dying or blood or stuff. So I thought, oh, that's going to get completely ruined. So I was intent on actually boycotting the movie, and I have to say curiosity got the better of me. So I went along to see it, and I'm totally glad I did. It was just excellent. It was a great mix of action and comedy. And I kid you not, I went in this completely just unsure of what was happening. I hadn't looked up what the story plot was, or barely paid attention really to the trailers, which actually didn't give much away, which is a change in and of itself. But so I went in with no concept of what was going to happen. So when you have BA and Hannibal meeting up for the first time, and Hannibal shoots BA, I'm like, what? Hey, no, they were friends in the war. They were friends in the army. What's going on? You're rebooting the A-Team in a completely changing way. What the? So I kid you not, this went on for a good while. I'm sat there completely disgruntled at this point, and I'm like, no. And that was it. That was when I was starting to feel really down on this movie. And then it turned out that this was pre them meeting up, and then they're in the army and that. And actually, the story is about how it ends up going on about the heist that essentially they got wrongly accused of. How they ended up being arrested and that, and how they deal with that, and then escape and stuff. So I was like, oh.